My daughter Lily was getting bullied in kindergarten. The bully was none other than my husband's illegitimate son, Jack. I immediately handed the divorce papers to my husband, Ben. He panicked. Betty, I really didn't know about this. I knew, but I just couldn't get past it in my heart. Today is my precious baby girl Lily's 4th birthday. My husband was really excited this morning. He cuddled me and woke me up. Honey, remember we're meeting at the mall this afternoon, right? He kissed my shoulder, sounding all sweet. His warm breath on my skin made me shiver. I heard there's a new French restaurant. Let's enjoy some couple time. After dating for a year and being married for 5, he's still pampered me like always. He never lets me deal with life's little troubles and hardships. This life feels almost like a dream to me. I buried my face in the pillow, smiling secretly, and playfully pushed him away. We've been married so long, who needs couple time? That made Ben pull a face while his hand mischievously touched my waist. What are you talking about? My wife looks young. I won't let you say otherwise. I laughed at his cheekiness, but pretended to be annoyed. Smooth talker. What had you say? Ben's eyes widened and his grin grew. His hand turned mischievous and tickled my weakest spots. I'm ticklish, so he pretty much shattered my morning drowsiness, and I surrendered. Oh, stop it. You'll wake Lily. I tried to dodge his tickling and used our daughter as a shield. Ben backed off immediately and put a finger to his lips, nodding. Yeah, keep it down. Who knows how late tonight's party will go. Let her sleep longer. When he talks about our daughter, Ben's face softens with love and tenderness. We both work a lot, so Lily's birthday party is set at my mom's house as usual. Thinking about it, Ben fished out a thick stack of bills from the nightstand and handed it to me, looking a little awkward. This is from my parents for Lily. Keep it safe. Ben's parents run a big business out of town. They're too busy and never make it back for Lily's birthday. I get it, and I didn't want small stuff ruining this great day. I smiled and leaned on his shoulder. Honey, what about having a little brother for Lily? Ben was over the moon about that idea. Over the moon enough that we all overslept. Lily, our little princess, sat in the car with her arms crossed, face serious. I don't even know what's up with you two grown-ups. Didn't you set the alarm last night? How did you still oversleep? She rambled in her seat, making Ben glance at me through the rear-view mirror. I sheepishly glared at him and turned to apologize to Lily. It's Mom's fault today. Woke up late. Will you forgive me? Lily's grown up spoiled, but with all the good traits from both Ben and me. Spoiled, but with boundaries. When I apologized, she pouted but jumped into my arms. All right, since Mom apologized, I forgive you. I hugged her, my heart melting into a puddle. Watching us, Ben joked about from the front seat. I want a hug too. That made Lily giggle. Dad, focus on driving. You can hug when we get to school. True to her word, once we got to kindergarten, the two of them hugged tightly, catching attention from passersby. I laughed, watching Ben drop Lily off, then walked back. He ran into a mom with a little boy, and they chatted briefly. When Ben got back, I asked, "What's up?" He watched my face closely and then shook his head. Nothing, just ran into an old friend. Ben was late picking me up for lunch. He seemed distracted while shopping for a gift, and even when I showed him a toy racing car, he just said it was fine without looking. I lost my patience and asked, "What's going on? If there's something urgent at work, just tell me. I can pick a gift for Lily myself." Seeing I was really getting mad, Ben finally apologized. "Sorry, honey. There's a tough case at work this morning." He pulled me along by my shoulder. I tried to pull away, but when I realized it was work-related, I softened. "Just tell me you're busy then. Don't just stay blank." He grinned and turned into a fancy cosmetics store. "My bad, let me make it up to you." Since my skincare was almost out, I huffed and picked a few things. He paid for them. But just as we left the store, I got a call from Lily's kindergarten teacher. "Hi, is this Lily's mom?" The slight panic in the teacher's voice sent my anxiety sky high. I gripped my phone, almost instinctively grabbing Ben's sleeve. "Yes, I am. Could you come to the kindergarten?" Lily was hurt by another child. Hearing our beloved daughter got hurt, Ben panicked too, and we rushed to the car. Little did we know, this was just the beginning of bigger troubles. Ben drove like a storm, covering an hour's distance in 30 minutes. When I got to the kindergarten office, I could see through the glass that Lily was covering her left cheek with her little hand. My heart skipped a beat. I forgot to knock and just barged in. "Lily." As soon as Lily heard me, she turned around and started crying. "Mom." She rushed into my arms, her pale little arms reaching out. The red handprint on her left cheek made my heart ache. But before I could even feel the pain, Ben had already grabbed her, asking sternly, "Sweetie, who hit you?" Ben has always been gentle. In all the years we've been together, I've never seen him lose his temper, not even when he's really angry. But today, seeing our daughter like this, his chest heaved with anger, veins bulging at his temples. With her parents backing her up, Lily cried even more. She looked at us with tearful eyes. The red handprint made her already pale face look even more fragile. He hit me. As she spoke, Lily pointed at a boy standing among several teachers. A boy dressed very plainly. He was just a little good-looking, with bright eyes that felt familiar, and he was staring right at Ben. Those eyes weren't scared or regretful, just eagerly expectant. Something felt off in my gut. I turned my head to see Ben staring at the boy, too, utterly dumbfounded. Just moments ago, he was fuming, but now he seemed deflated, his tight expression turned awkward. But I didn't pay much attention to that at the time. I turned to Lily's teacher with a serious face. "Teacher, what exactly happened here?" The teacher looked apologetic and awkward, nodding vigorously. "I'm really sorry. These kids just suddenly started fighting after class. It took a while to separate them. When we pulled them apart, that's when we saw Lily had been hit. We immediately contacted both sets of parents to ask what happened. But no matter how much we asked, neither child wanted to say why they started fighting." The teacher's explanation made Lily shrink down. She huddled on Ben's shoulder, with tears still on her face, looking so weak and aggrieved that it would break anyone's heart. Ben tore his gaze away from the boy and gently patted Lily's back. "Lily, can you tell Daddy what happened?" Lily buried her head in his neck, her voice clear in the office. "Daddy, are you only my daddy?" Ben's smile froze. He glanced at me, his expression evasive yet trying to muster a smile, though clearly guilty. "Lily, what are you talking about?" All the teachers in the office went silent, and I was hit with a sense of foreboding, like something important was shattering, disappearing so fast I couldn't grasp it. Lily didn't realize the impact her words had on the adults in the room. Pointing at the boy, she explained softly in the quiet office. "He came over and accused me of stealing his dad, and when I refused, he hit me." My blood ran cold, and that strange feeling became clear. I had seen this boy before. On the way to drop Lily off at kindergarten this morning, that young woman talking to Ben was holding his hand. I looked up at Ben's stiff face, feeling a buzzing in my ears, my heart plunging into what felt like an abyss. I never thought I'd have issues in my marriage. I'd seen those posts online about husbands cheating and would scroll past them, thinking it was a waste of time. But now, with this happening to me, a wave of helplessness hit me. My mind went blank, unable to react, until Ben, still holding Lily, came to my side. His face remained gentle, his smile unchanged. He patted Lily's back, nervously watching me, his voice trembling slightly. "Lily, don't say nonsense. Of course, I'm only Lily's daddy." With personal matters at hand, the teacher discreetly sent the other curious teachers away, cautiously approaching me. "Betty, this boy's family situation is special. Maybe it's just a misunderstanding between kids. Don't let it affect your family." I tried to take it as comfort, about to force a smile, when suddenly the office door opened with a bang. "Jack?" The woman who burst in looked flustered. Her plain shirt was half-soaked, and her unadorned face was full of tension. But even so, she was undeniably beautiful. Her first glance caught Ben's soothing Lily, and whatever she was about to say stopped on her lips, her tension growing worse. "Mom." The previously silent boy suddenly ran over with open arms. He hugged his mother's leg tightly, his small face pressed against her pants, as if he was the one wronged. The woman finally reacted. She bent down, looked at her child, and turned stern, scolding him. "What happened? Why did you fight with the other kid?" Her questioning immediately brought tears to the boy's eyes. I just wanted to tell Lily that he's my dad too, right?" The boy pointed at Ben, tears falling. But his words changed everyone's expression in the room. The woman looked at Ben with tear-filled eyes, then at her son, neither confirming nor denying, just holding back tears. Ben stood there, stunned. He nearly lost his grip on Lily. And Lily? She must have sensed something, her little hands clinging to Ben's shirt, not letting go, her little face tensed, merging her handprint with her flushed cheeks. I froze, with that final bit of hope gone, as blood rushed through my head, dizzying me. The teacher was speechless, torn and confused about whom to console. But Jack was relentless. He bit his lip, pointing at Ben, firmly asking his mother, "Mom, you've shown me pictures of Dad. That's him, I'm sure, right? I'm Jack, and Dad is Ben. You said my name is a tribute to Dad." This clarification snapped me back to reality. I glanced at my daughter and turned to the teacher. "Could you please take Lily out for a bit? I'm not leaving." Lily puffed up her little face, staring fiercely at Jack with teary eyes. My heart sank, concern quickly overshadowing my sadness, pulling me back to my senses. Lily is my precious daughter, my bottom line. No one can bully her. The teacher met my eyes with an unclear expression but nodded firmly. She went over to Ben, took Lily into her arms, comforted her, and carried her out. The office fell silent. The woman shielded her child behind her. "Do you need time to catch up?" I tilted my head at Ben. This man hadn't taken his eyes off her since she appeared. The tender expression in his gaze was something he'd never shown me. I used to think I was the love of his life. Turns out, his affection wasn't genuine. Ben finally snapped back from my question. "Honey, what are you talking about? I don't know her." Lying now, huh? Did he think I'd be so easily fooled? I smirked. Didn't you mention this morning that she's an old friend? But now you don't know her? I walked over, extending my well-manicured hand toward the woman and smiled. Hi, I'm Ben's wife, and the mother of the girl who got hit. What's your name? The woman shrunk back, as if I intimidated her. Trembling, she extended her rough hand, barely touching mine, introducing herself slowly. I'm Kate, Jack's mom, also Ben's ex-girlfriend. I knew. Ben's mom had told me. It was during my first meeting with his parents. Ben had left to order food, leaving me alone with them. His mom looked down on me until she learned that both my parents were intellectuals. Well, at least her intelligence is acceptable. You know, boys take after their mother. If they have a son, he'll be smart. Ben's mom muttered to herself, finally saying, better than that, Kate. I'd started my own business by then. That little power play didn't faze me. I pretended not to hear, but Kate's name stuck with me for years. Oh, Kate. I kept my smile as I glanced at the wary little boy behind her. The kids fought, but your son hit my daughter and bruised her face, as you saw. Here's what we can do. Let's add each other on message. We'll take the kids to the hospital. If it's nothing serious, you just cover the checkup costs. Kate started to say something, but the little boy behind her spoke up first. Why should my mom pay your medical bills? Lily hit me too. It hurt. I know Lily well. She doesn't back down. If someone slapped her, I'm sure she'd leave a bruise on their arm. I kept my smile, softly speaking to the fiery Jack. You can have your mom take you to the hospital too. Show me the receipts, and I'll cover every expense. Jack seethed with anger, lunging, but was held back by his mom, who shot a pitiful look at Ben, like I was the bully. Ben rubbed his hands nervously, stepping forward from the back. Honey, this isn't right. Lily's face will heal soon. Plus, it's her birthday today. If we're late, she'll throw a fit. I looked at this man without warmth, but kept my tone steady. What are you saying? Physical wounds heal fast, but will you handle it if this affects her mentally? Ben hesitated, caught between speaking and silence. While we were at a standstill, the previously meek woman spoke up. Ben, your wife is right. We should get the kids checked out. She pulled Jack closer, her tone even weaker. My son is tough. We don't need to go to the hospital. Send me the bill for the checkup, I'll reimburse you. Her words hit Ben's soft spot. I didn't waste her kindness. Kate's agreement wasn't a surprise. Oh, right. I yanked a hair from Ben's head and handed it to her with a calm expression. Might as well get a paternity test. Jack seems to have misunderstood. It'll clear things up. Those words hit a nerve with Kate. She shielded her child, tears streaming down her face. My son's telling the truth. Ben is his dad. No need for any test. Honestly, seeing her so self-assertive made my blood boil, but I knew I couldn't afford any weakness now. Let's do it, just to be sure. That way, we can discuss things further. I smiled as I pressed the hair into her hand, then turned and left the office swiftly. After picking up Lily from the teacher, I left the kindergarten. Soon enough, Ben's hurried footsteps rushed after me. Wait for me. He grabbed my arm so hard, almost sending Lily tumbling from my hold. He caught her in time, but his eyes stayed fixed on me, urgency in his voice. Honey, I truly didn't know she had a son after we split. Shut up. I glared at him. I didn't want to hear about his old affairs in front of my daughter. Ben seemed to realize, turning silently to open the car door, holding Lily, both sitting in the back. I drove in silence, heading toward the hospital. Lily sensed the tension, but said nothing. Watching the unfamiliar streets, she became uneasy. Mom, where are we going? I glanced at her through the mirror, mustering a gentle tone. We're going to the hospital. A checkup to ensure she wasn't seriously hurt, but the word hospital hit a sensitive nerve. Lily burst into tears, crying so hard she turned red. I don't want to go. My heart ached instantly. Ben snapped from his thoughts, pulling Lily into his arms. All right, sweetheart, we won't go to the hospital. Seeing her like this, I couldn't insist any further. Ignoring Ben's gaze, I looked away, continuing to drive. I softly suggested, how about we go to Grandma's instead? Hearing that, Lily's cries steadily subsided. Tears hung on her little face as her big eyes blinked and looked at me. Okay. I drove back to my mom's place. By the time I brought Lily in, the house was already prepared. My mom happily took Lily into her arms, then noticed her slightly red cheeks. Lily, are you just super excited about your birthday? Why are your cheeks all red? Lily glanced at me and her dad, her big eyes twinkling as she joked with my mom. I'm just too excited to be at Grandma's for my birthday. Her sweet little voice made my mom even more affectionate, and they both giggled their way into the living room. My dad heard the noise and poked his head out of the kitchen, grinning even wider when he saw me and Ben. Oh, you're back? Go wash up. Dinner's ready. Ben as usual went to wash his hands and help my dad in the kitchen. I sat on the couch by myself, feeling oddly detached as I watched all the lively commotion. All I could think about was Jack's familiar face, unease roiling inside me, making me shiver uncontrollably. Until my mom, holding Lily, came out and patted my shoulder lightly. "What are you daydreaming about? Come eat. Everyone will be here soon, and there's plenty to do." I felt lightheaded, forcing a smile as I joined everyone at the table and managed to finish my meal. Just as I set down my bowl, there was a knock at the door. It was Lily's friends arriving for the party. Little kids dragged in their parents, each carrying gifts for Lily. The kids played noisily inside while we parents caught up in the living room. Some relatives put the spotlight on me and Ben. "Lily's already 4, and you two are doing well. Haven't thought about another one?" My mom heard this and looked at me excitedly, but I just forced a smile. Things got awkward for a moment. Just then, Ben came by with a fruit platter, casually wrapping an arm around me. "We're working on it." His comment made the room burst into laughter. But as I looked at Ben's smiling face, my first thought was, it won't happen. Ben and I aren't having another child. Lily played so hard with her friends that she just plopped right onto the mat and fell asleep, toy still in hand. My mom suggested not disturbing her, clearly creating an opportunity for me and Ben to have some couple time. We pretended cheerful as we left my mom's house, but then Ben got a call from an unknown number. The person on the other end urgently addressed him as Ben, saying, Jack was upset by Lily's mom, locked himself in his room. "Ben, I have no one else to rely on. Can you comfort him?" I watched Ben's face harden as he listened, clenching my fists silently. He hung up, handed me the car keys. "Honey, something's up with Jack. I need to check on him." "Why not call the police?" "Why you? And how does she even have your number?" I'm not being cruel, but seeing his urgency, remembering how he dismissed Lily getting hit, I couldn't help but say it. "Jack's my son," Ben explained hastily. "I didn't know before, but I can't ignore it now." He was about to leave when I grabbed his sleeve, pleading quietly. "You won't help by going. Let Kate call Betty." Before I could finish, Ben shook off my hand, sounded stern. "Betty, this isn't the time to be difficult." I watched as he left without hesitation, slamming the door hard behind him. A bad feeling crept over me. I waited up for him until midnight, but by the next morning, Ben still hadn't returned. I had no idea how I got through that night. When my mom called, my first instinct was to hide any sign that anything was wrong. "Honey, are you up?" "Just got up," I sniffed, thankful my nasal voice from crying sounded like morning grogginess. "We're on our way to the preschool, you relax." "Mom," staring at the clear blue sky, I suddenly said, "Don't send Lily to school today. You and Dad should take her out for some fun. And hey, Ben and I talked last night, and we think it'd be great to have Lily stay with you for a while. Is that okay?" "Really?" My mom laughed joyfully, clearly delighted. "Of course, we'd love that." When the call ended, I shifted my stiff body off the couch, took a quick shower, and called my assistant, Larry. "Larry, I need you to dig up some info on someone, fast. I'm not a pushover. If Kate thinks she can play the helpless victim card and win, she's dreaming." But I wasn't expecting what Larry found to be so surprising. That afternoon, I got an MMS from an unknown number. It contained a paternity test report showing Jack is Ben's son, dated 5 years ago. Below was a long self-written monologue. It detailed her painful love story with Ben and her struggles as a single mom after they split. Every word begged sympathy, revealing Kate's little schemes. Grinning coldly, I screenshotted and sent it right to Ben. Ben called back almost immediately. "Honey, ignore her lies. I spent all night at the hospital with the kid. There's no way we're rekindling anything." I was about to respond when Larry's message popped up on my computer. "Betty, the info's in your email. Let me know if you need anything else." I hung up silently, opening my email, and nearly fainted from rage at what I saw. In the photos, my mother-in-law, whom I hadn't seen in over a year, was holding Jack's hand, both laughing as they shopped. Behind them were bags from kids' brands and toys, clearly having a successful haul. Soon enough, a plainly dressed Kate appeared. She discreetly exchanged pleasantries with my mother-in-law, reaching for her son and gratefully accepting the goodies. Though my mother-in-law barely acknowledged her, she treated Kate far better than she treated me. All these years, I knew my mother-in-law favored boys. When I had Lily, she was discontent and soon shifted her focus to another province. I wanted harmony, so I let it slide. Never did it occur to me that all this quiet was just because she had known for years that her son had another family outside, and she had started fostering a bond with her grandson. I was so angry I clenched my teeth, almost dialing Ben, but I held back. I thought maybe, just maybe, Ben really didn't know about these things. What if? After all, I had felt genuine happiness in this home, and I didn't want to end things badly with the man I loved so much. I held the phone, lost in thought, remembering Ben's usual kindness to me. But then I thought of my Lily. What if everything with him was a lie? Who would protect me and my baby Lily? Love made me happy, but as a mother, I had to consider the worst. That thought crossed my mind briefly. In the end, I called the company's legal department. "Lawyer, I have a personal issue I need help with." What is it? I need to plan my next steps carefully. Ben rushed home after 9 that night, looking disheveled in his creased suit, holding my favorite little cake from that one store. Honey, why are your eyes red? He gently moved closer, worried about my tear-stained face. Did something make you cry? He asked tenderly, wiping my tears away. There's nothing between Kate and me anymore. Why are you upset? I looked at him, not answering a single question. Seeing my silence, Ben grew more anxious. Was it because I was too harsh last night? I'm sorry, honey. I promise I won't get mad about them again. His words were clear. He intended to support them, his first family, as their father. But how can one man have two families? I still didn't speak, just stared at Ben intently, as though wanting to carve his image into my heart. I had chased after him. Back then, I knew he was heartbroken from his previous relationship. I was so proud that I refused to let him think of anyone else. I persisted long enough until, just as I was about to give up, Ben surprisingly agreed. I remember being so shocked and happy that I yanked his tie and kissed him right there in public. Ben seemed confused, but, seeing my smile, couldn't help smiling back. I still recall our spontaneous decision to marry on a trip. I remember the joy of knowing Lily was on her way post-marriage. Even just yesterday morning, I thought I would be happy forever. But Kate and her son's sudden appearance shattered those feelings. I reached out and touched Ben's worried furrowed brows, feeling a piercing pain in my chest. I asked, trembling, Ben, did you already know about Jack? I saw Ben freeze. He looked at me, trying to maintain a calm smile, which broke my heart. Sweetie, what are you talking about? Of course, I didn't know. From the start, Ben loved calling me sweetie when we began dating. Later, he switched to calling me honey. I thought it was just a term. Reading Kate's confession today, I realized it was because, at first, he hadn't moved on from his past relationship. He called Kate sweetie. I only meant to test him, but his reaction, acknowledgement or not, told me everything. I displayed the computer screen to him, showing a clear image of his mother with Kate. Ben panicked. Where did you get these photos? Does it matter? I smiled at him. Ben, just tell me the truth. Did you know about Jack? When he didn't speak, I got my answer. It was a silent admission. Don't worry, there's really nothing between us. In my heart. Sleep. I'm tired, I said, wanting nothing more than to resolve the divorce quickly. I asked the lawyer to draft a divorce paper outlining the property divisions. The lawyer sent me Ben's bank statements. I wasn't initially concerned, thinking he'd been truthful about everything else. But I noticed he took $8,888 cash each year on Lily's birthday. I even had one of those amounts in my hand now. Not to mention every year he took holiday money from his own savings, labeling it as a busy family business gift. This meant his parents never spent a dime on Lily or me. Why? Because they refused to acknowledge Lily since she's a girl. So they wouldn't accept me as their daughter-in-law, not to mention bringing back Kate, who bore them a son. They had lined up my replacement. I put down my computer, grabbed the freshly printed divorce agreement, and handed it to Ben. As you wanted, Ben, we're getting divorced. Right now. Seeing the divorce papers, Ben panicked. He dropped the cake and grabbed my shoulders, tears almost falling. Sweetie, I didn't know Jack was my son. You have to believe me. How can I trust you? You've lied to me so many times in just 2 days. Ben, do you even know how much tuition is for Lily's preschool each month? Ben seemed puzzled by my abrupt question, looking at me. $3,000 a month. Right, $3,000 a month, I said with a bitter smile. How's a single mom like Kate, with no resources, affording such expensive school for Jack? After hearing my question, Ben's face turned as white as a sheet. I smacked the printed bank statements against him, my last ounce of reluctance gone. You think it's funny? You've been transferring $50,000 to Kate's account like clockwork every month. You said you had no idea you had a son, so why do you send money to her every month? Some sort of ex-girlfriend support fund? Ben doesn't want to divorce. Even when I slapped all this evidence in his face, he refused to separate, but I insisted on going to court. I even considered suing for misappropriation of marital assets. When my parents learned Ben and I were heading for a divorce, they were shocked. But once I explained everything, they hugged Lily tight and told me not to worry. They couldn't believe he turned out this way. Divorce him. My dad was so mad. He pounded the table. We wasted so many years of food on him. Don't worry, Betty. Lily has us here to comfort her. I was most worried about my daughter. I even feared Ben might try some dirty tricks. But reality proved my fears were unnecessary. On the day of the lawsuit, Ben's parents showed up, which rarely happened. They accepted all my accusations without question, even giving up custody of Lily without a word just to speed up the divorce with their son. I knew they didn't care about the assets Ben stood to lose. So when Ben agreed to leave with nothing, I agreed too. Walking out of the courthouse, I saw Kate and Jack standing confidently waiting for Ben, which left a sour taste in my mouth. But I gracefully went over to greet Kate. Isn't that Kate? Kate looked away, not wanting to acknowledge me. When Ben finally emerged, she quickly grabbed her son's hand and rushed to him. Ben. He simply nodded, but kept looking at me. Lily. I smiled. Lily and I are going to Hong Kong next month. Studying in Hong Kong? Disappointment clouded Ben's eyes. No, we're moving there, I said, flicking my hair. The company's going public, so it's time to find a nice place to live. Ben's mom clearly heard my words. She hesitated, holding Jack's hand, her expression tense. Let's go. You're divorced now. What's there to talk about? She left with Jack, not sparing Kate a glance. Kate must have thought Ben would stay with her, but he never looked back. Called by his mom, he quickly walked away. I crossed my arms, watching Kate, who stood there alone, a laugh escaping my lips. What's the matter? Still dreaming of marrying Ben? Did you really think kicking me out would secure your place as the rich wife because of your son? Kate was so mad, she couldn't say a word. I grinned even wider. Ben's mom is a seasoned player in the business world. She may favor sons, but her eyes are sharp. Did you really think she couldn't see through your tricks? How can you, of all people, talk like this after your divorce? Kate stammered, shaking with anger, pointing a finger at me. Qualified? I tilted my head as if I heard a funny joke. Kate, can't you still see the truth? I was able to give Lily a stable and happy home with Ben. Now divorced, my daughter still lives the good life with me. I have the ability and confidence to shoulder any decision I make. But what about you? Can you? Leaving a familiar city is never easy, especially with how to break the news to Lily about Ben's absence. But Lily was more mature than I expected. On the third day of Ben's absence, she snuggled into my bed, pressing her little face against mine. Mom, is Dad not coming back anymore? I was surprised at how calmly she asked this, and it broke my heart that she guessed it. I patted her back, looking for comforting words, but instead of me, she embraced me, saying, if you want to cry, just cry. I'm here. My nose stung with emotion, but I held back tears while soothing her. If you want to cry, you can too. Mommy's here to hug you. Just then, I felt her tears on my neck. Lily snuggled against me, sobbing quietly, but still consoling me. It's okay. It's okay. We fell asleep holding each other. By the next morning, the sunlight streamed in, and we couldn't help but laugh. Mom, your eyes are swollen like a frog, she giggled, kicking her little legs. The warm sun shining on her was heartwarming, making me feel that everything was worth it. As for them, I heard from friends that Kate didn't manage to marry into Ben's family just because she had Jack. Kate tried causing trouble once, but Ben's mom called the police, leaving Kate disgraced. As for Ben, he kept going on blind dates, but their family's reputation preceded them. Who would want to give their daughter away? Ben reached out a few times wanting to reconcile. I just blocked him, focusing on raising our child right. A few years later, I heard his family had fallen on hard times. His mom called, asking me to come back, saying the family couldn't manage without me. I just found it amusing. Auntie, it's been years since the divorce. Please don't disturb me anymore. They willingly gave up child custody then, and now, we've got nothing to do with each other.